Bam. Y'all still there? Man, type something in the chat if y'all here. Y'all joining just looking at me. Say, he funny looking, head big. What you supposed to say? All right, man, let's do it. Welcome to Pocket Watchers. I'm your host, Treetop Chris. On this show, we talk about nurturing your wealth and cultivating your future through financial education. Let's talk finance, people. Peace, family. Your boy, Treetop Chris, checking in with another episode of Pocket Watchers, episode 17. Again, I think this is episode 17 for the people that are joining. Hey. So I got people on TikTok, y'all, for the people who are listening on the radio right now. They're saying hi. I can't see y'all from the radio, but just know that I can feel you. I can feel your energy. I know you listening to me. I know you here trying to get some financial knowledge. And thanks for tuning in every single week, Tuesday at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. on Wednesdays on TikTok, because we recording simultaneously. And then all the shows are uploaded every week on YouTube if you want to rewatch them for the information that I talk about on the show. So today's episode is going to be about significant others. Significant others, I kind of broke that word down a little bit differently than a lot of people do. Take a step back and look at the word significant. If you break it down, it says, sign if I can't. Yes, you ever know that? Write it out. Sign if I can't. Significant others. Today's show is about utilizing cosigners, right? Just to give you a little backstory on what we're going to be delving into today. I know a lot of people have co-signed with people, and it has turned out to be tragic, horrible. But it's also people that co-sign and have good experiences. But today we're going to talk about a little bit of both. We're going to talk about some experience that I had in the past co-signing, and some experiences that some of my clients had with co-signing, because a lot of people reach out to me, my clients in particular, and also before I get into it, for everybody that's coming into the DMs from ads, or you listening to the show, or you just come across my website, just know that I like to give as much information as I can for free. I like to show love as best as I can, for as much as I can with my time, because you gotta pay for someone's time when they run a business. But if you schedule through the link on my website or any of my social media outlets, you have the option to get one-time free advice for any financial situation that you're in. So basically, just have your questions together. If you're trying to get your credit together, if you're trying to rework your finances, if you're trying to pay off debt extremely fast, just reach out and hit that button so you can get some free advice. We're going to sit down for 30, 45 minutes, and we're going to delve into whatever issues you have as if you were one of my clients. But anyway, back to today's topic, sign if I can, aka significant others. So what is co-signing? Everybody knows what co-signing is. And for the people that don't, it's just when you're trying to get some type of credit, loan, anything that requires you to sign on a dotted line. You're going to share that responsibility, both physically and financially, with someone else. So you'll have to provide your social security number, and you will then be the entity that is the debt asset. So they say, hello, DJ. Who's DJ? I don't know who DJ is, but what's up, DJ? Whoever's on these people on TikTok, I said to say something. Now they saying stuff. Somebody's throwing roses. I appreciate the love. But when you sign on that dotted line together, normally, because last week we talked about HELOCs and HELOCs. For the people that missed it out, we were talking about personal lines of credit and home equity lines of credit. With the home equity line of credit, it is your collateral will be your home, right? So if something was to happen, they would take your home. With the personal line of credit, you are the collateral. And if you don't pay it back, they sue you, they charge off your account, they send collections after you to the federal government, then they come after you. But when you're talking about significant others and you're talking about co-signing, it's the same thing as a personal line of credit. So you and your whoever that person is the asset. Now, it would be nice if that was somebody that you cared about and somebody that you trusted being the person that you signed the dotted line with. We're not just talking about somebody that you're married with. It'd be nicer if you were married. But if it's somebody that you truly, truly trust, then you go ahead and co-sign for them. Now, all of the horrible, horrible stories that I heard from people who co-signed with other people is because they didn't do their research or they really trusted the person based off of how happy they make them feel from time to time. That's not how you do it. So if you kicking it with somebody or you spending your time with people or something like that, and you like, hey, let's go get this house together, or let's go get this car together. You've only known them for a couple months. You're in a whirlwind romance, or whatever's happening. You like, hey, just co-sign for me. I just need this person to co-sign for me, and you just do it out of love. Love don't pay the bills. It definitely doesn't pay the bills. I'm sorry. It can in very, very rare instances, but most of the time, at the end of the day, you get mad at somebody. First thing you're going to do is take away something you did for them. I'm sorry. Some people are just like that. I mean, how many people know somebody just, I'm mad, I'm taking this. It happens like that. But what I suggest is, you take a deep look at both of your finances and make sure that you're both financially stable. And that means that your finances can cover your expenses for the month before you co-sign with that person, right? Because you might be a type of person that want to help somebody out. Like, say they're trying to get a car and they're a young person. This could be your kids. It could be a friend. And you know that your credit is good enough to get them a good interest rate. And they're like really trying to work hard. They got a job at Chick-fil-A or something like that. And you like, yeah, I co-sign for you, get you a new whip. I don't want you to get an old one. So you be riding around in a junk heap or whatever you want to call it. A lot of us started out that way with a car we could barely afford, and it barely drove, and that's what we had. We ain't had no co-signers. I never had a co-sign in my life. I wish I did. I never had one in my life. I co-signed for other people, but I never had somebody co-sign for me. That's a luxury that I did not have, Treetop Chris. So to the people that have the opportunity to do it, it might sound like it's a good idea, but just take a step back and say, look, how long have you been working? How long have you been getting enough money to pay all your bills, not just a bill for that vehicle, right? Because we only talking about a car right now. People co-sign on homes, co-sign on deals so that they can get more money. That's way bigger. The car can hurt you just as bad as a house can, just because it might be $20,000 or something like that. That might not seem like a lot when the monthly payments is only $200 and something, $300 something, and say the person make $1,000 a month. They don't have any rent anywhere, but if say that they do got rent, say they got other bills. The whole purpose is, again, make sure that if you co-sign for somebody, I want y'all to just take this advice. Can they pay that bill 3.5 times in 1 month? Think about that. If you want to co-sign for somebody, can that person pay that bill 3.5 times in 1 month and still cover all of their expenses for the month? That's going to eliminate 98% of the people that you're going to co-sign for right there. Let's get them wheels turning, y'all. Let's think. Let's think before we make these decisions that we based on emotion, because that's how we get into a lot of problems in any community, not even just the black community, because I'm from the black community. But in any community, let's start thinking before we make these financial decisions, because emotion can get us into a lot of trouble, as a lot of us know. I definitely know about it. But yeah, 3.5 times in a month. Can you pay it 3.5 times in a month and still cover all your bills? That's the cardinal rule, right? So now that we understand that, right, how can we elevate the situation? How can we use it to our advantage? Well, mainly, do they meet the criteria? I gave you the criteria. 3.5 times, still cover expenses. Okay, boom. You fit the criteria. What's their credit score versus your credit score? Is their credit score good? Is your credit score good? Is theirs bad and yours great? How does that look? I'm going to tell you right now, if your credit is not as good as mine or better, I'm not co-signing for you. I mean, that's just, it's a telltale sign that you're not good with finances if your credit is not straight. And that's no dig at anybody that doesn't have good credit. It's just that a lot of people are taking time to build their credit. They haven't used their credit, or they're irresponsible. But all of that makes a difference when you're talking about signing on some type of contract that's going to affect your ability to move forward in life. Let me say that again. It's going to affect your ability to move forward in life. And I know some of y'all that are listening have already went through the troubles of those situations. And I know some of y'all listening have had no bad experiences at all. It's really the luck of the draw unless you take your time to vet these people. You know, I always talk about vetting businesses before you do business with them, but that's the same for family and friends. You vet these people financially to make sure that they are making the right decisions before you get in bed with them mentally or physically. Because money, ultimately, at the end of the day, it's really going to be an emotional thing that you deal with. Very few people make logical decisions when they come to money, especially when it's coming in and they feel like they're okay. They don't think about 5 or 6 years from now, are those same people going to still be in your life and be an integral part of your life? They might be in your life and you might be at odds. They might be in your life and they might get you to the next level. But again, do they pass the test in the beginning? If they pass the test in the beginning, now we cooking. So we're going to sign on the dotted line for this car. Is it a gift? Are you going to benefit from the fact that you're going to co-sign for somebody? Am I wrong for thinking about how I can benefit from co-signing for somebody? Some people would say yes. You know, sometimes if you got the ability to help somebody, you just help them. But we're not talking about giving somebody money and that be it. We're talking about being responsible for that person financially for the life of that contract that they sign. We're talking about something totally different. Now, if you don't agree, that's fine. I'm just a financial planner, so I get paid to make decisions with money. But I'm not the only one out here. So, you know, you don't always have to listen to me. I'm just trying to help you think or give you some ideas to make you just slow down a little bit before you make that emotional decision to help somebody get that car or whatever they're trying to get. But back to the strategies. We're talking about co-signing on a loan to get a home to renovate, right? Because a lot of people are in the business of trying to make extra money, and they might not have enough money or have enough credit to go get that property, that asset, to start that grand scheme of real estate investing or anything of the like, right? Because you can get a car to start a car rental business and co-sign on that. You can get a house to co-sign to rent it out. But either way, do they pass the test? Yes, they passed the test. Now, what's the plan? Before we even sign on the dotted line, what's the plan? Are we both going to adhere to the plan? Did we talk about everything, the ins and outs? What happens if I lose my job? What happens if you lose your job? What happens if you don't make enough money? What happens if I don't make enough money? Like, really, really delve deep into how you can play the game smarter when it comes to sign if I can't. Because even if the person you're with you're not in a relationship with them, they're still a significant person. Remember, sign if I can't. They're still a significant other. If you're signing on a dotted line with them, you share the responsibility. So now that we got the parameters out the way, we got the plan out the way. Now, what do? You can go and co-sign on a home, right? And you can get an FHA loan, right? FHA loan, 3.5% down right now. Interest rates are they're not as crazy as they were. They're going down. Here's another tidbit towards the summertime, and mark my words, y'all hearing this live, and I'm standing on this. By summertime, the interest rates are going to go down on these homes, but the price is going to go up. Why? Because they'll be easier to buy for people. So it'll be a bunch of people rushing in trying to buy these houses. So y'all just wait. The people that's trying to get the houses, they've been waiting for some time. You better have that money to the side. And the people that's going to use significant others, y'all need to put y'all bread up now, because when the flood comes, it's going to be a lot of inventory out there for people once those interest rates go down. Even a percent or 0.5%, long as it's not 7-8%. It hasn't been like 8% or anything like that. But if it gets down to 5.5, because right now I think I seen like 3.3, 5.3. Oh my goodness, 3.3. People be going crazy. 5.3%, something like that. If it gets anywhere below that or straight 5, whoa, it's gonna be crazy for the real estate agents and for the people that's trying to buy. It's already crazy right now. It's like lines. You know, my wife is a real estate agent for anyone looking to buy or sell in the Baltimore area, the Maryland area, actually. You know, from what we are seeing in the market, people are still waiting in line to get houses that are reasonably priced. That's like $350,000 homes and under. There's still people out there buying $500,000 homes, $1 million homes. But, you know, people are waiting in line to get a good home. So if you have the opportunity to find somebody that meets the parameters and you want to get and build wealth with them, plan it out. You go out, you get your 3.5% down, both of y'all, right? You sign on the dotted line together. Now you have an asset together. How do you move the asset? Is it going to be a rental property? Is it going to be something that both of you are going to stay in, try to get 20% off of it, take the mortgage insurance off of it? Because you remember, when you put 3.5% down, you got to pay that PMI, right? That's extra money that you got to pay a month. You want to get that PMI off. So say you and your partner get that money, and now both of you have a line of credit, because remember we talked about a personal line of credit, or HELOCs that you can use to pay the house down to 20%. Then you don't have to pay that extra cost of the PMI when you rent it out. Because when you rent it out, remember the costs have to cover your insurance. They got to cover your taxes. They got to cover the mortgage. They got to cover your HOA if you have that. You know, all of that stuff. So I want y'all to think about this when you're trying to use, I guess I would say group economics, because we had a conversation about group economics, group economics a couple weeks ago, because this is basically what that is. Cosigning is, it shouldn't be used as something for luxury. It should be used as something that is very, very intentional, even with y'all kids. Even if it's not somebody that you really, you know, truly care about, and you want to play games like with your finances, I wouldn't co-sign unless they meet the parameters. And again, for the people that's joining, that's 3.5 times the amount that they're spending on that bill every month. So that if that's the mortgage, we talking about the mortgage. If you going out and the mortgage on that house is on that $350,000 house is $2,000 or something crazy like that, $1,600 or whatever, in that range, you want to make sure that both of you can afford to pay it 3.5 times. Because now we're talking about together. I said you vet the other person to make it really tough for them, for you to co-sign with them, because I wanted to be a decision that's just like, I wouldn't even do that. I want you to really be like, don't do it. But, you know, if they get past that point, now think about y'all together. Can both of you pay the mortgage 3.5 times in a month and still be able to pay your bills? Most of the time you can't. So now you're taking a risk. Now, if both of you know you're taking a risk in your mind, y'all gonna move a little bit different. But that's what I want you to do. That's what you need to do. You need to move strategically, logically, and you need to do it without as much emotion as possible. Please leave the emotion to the side, because it's going to be rainy days where either one of you might have a financial situation, but people pass away. Your house might have some problems. Your car might have some problems. Your kids might have some problems if you got kids. You don't have problems. You might have to go to court for something. You got to pay a lawyer. Something is going to happen in between the time of you starting the contract and the time of you ending the contract, if the contract ends. Now, when it comes to a mortgage property, you know, it's 30 years, 15 years. So if you're going to get into the game like that, you both got to say, all right, we can afford to pay this, and we're both still good no matter what. No matter what happens, me and my partner can pay this mortgage 2 or 3 times in a month. I say 3 times in a month. So that means if you got to bring the price down on what you're trying to acquire, so that both of you can be able to pay it 3 times over in a month, then now you can do that. So that you lower the risk by using the strategies that I'm giving you right now in the process. I had someone reach out to me yesterday. They actually called from the show, because, you know, again, it's Tuesdays at 1 p.m. And they were actually asking me about a property that they had, and they didn't know if they necessarily wanted to sell it, but they were looking for someone to invest in it. Right? Now, I don't know you from Adam and Eve. And to the person that was listening to me, I don't know you from a can of paint. I can say it in many different ways. I appreciate the call, but if you're going to call me just know what I'm telling everybody right now and how to vet these people to make sure that it is a good financial decision for me to invest in a situation or partner up with somebody. I'm going to do that with people who call me. You can't just call and say, hey, I know you're into finance and you do credit funding and stuff like that. So would you mind spending $250,000 on my property or something like crazy like that? Like, no, that's not going to happen. Absolutely not. I don't know you. I got to see everything. People come to me all the time. They say, Chris, you going to invest? I say, yeah, let me see your financials. Let me see your paperwork. I need to see black and white. It's nothing personal. I'm not trying to be a jerk or anything like that. But if it doesn't make sense on paper, if your finances are not legit or set like mine's are or better, then we're not doing business. It's just that plain and simple. I don't care if you're family. I don't care if you're a friend. People know me, it's a word that they have that I'm not going to say because I'm on the radio, but it's several different words. But basically, I'm pretty cheap. I like nice things. I spend money on nice things so I don't have to buy it more than once. But when it comes to doing business with somebody, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to count my dimes. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my time and I'm going to count my dimes because at the end of the day, I've lost a lot working with people. I've lost a lot. Just to give you a rough estimate, I've lost at least $100,000 working with people. So I'm not telling you from hypotheticals. I'm telling you from literal experience of working with people and I've benefited. I've made money from transactions and working with partners. I've also lost money in the same partnerships. So it's not even just like, I'm talking about only the good times or only the bad times. It's been times where I've been making money with someone for years and lost it all and been in debt because of that person. And so it's all different sides that you can look at it from. But the main thing is, are you really, really counting your dimes and making sure that you are financially stable enough to cover your bills and expenses before you co-sign with somebody? Now, let's get into the relationship part. Right? So you're talking about somebody that you care about, you spending time with, you live with. Now, this can go for married couples or single couples. Now, what do you do in that situation? You would think you've been together for so long, let's get a house together, right? No, you get a house by yourself and they get a house by themselves. Well, first off, you get the first property, right? You put it in your name. You use your expenses, your income for that property because it's not going to be tied to the second person. So your DTI, because now we're talking about debt to income, your debt to income is not going to affect the other person, right? They're only going to look at your debt to income. Now, when it comes to the other person, they're going to have a separate debt to income. So say you both have one vehicle and you're trying to get one house. Who has the vehicle in their name? The person that doesn't have the vehicle in their name should get the house in their name, right? When they get the house in their name, they'll have debt to income based on their financials and the house. You'll have the debt to income ratio based off the car and your income and expenses. Now, you got the house, you got the car. It's on one person and the other item is on the other person. So think about this for a second. You pay the house down for the one person. You get out of the year or two, because some of y'all use like down payment assistance or different programs like FHA, and you can't sell the house after a certain period of time or before a certain period of time expires on the house. Now, when that time changes or when you get past that time, the person that didn't get the house, you go and you get a mortgage or another house. So now you got two houses, but you together. It's two people together. Y'all got two houses together. The debt to income only affects one individual and the other individual, not tied together. So you can get an FHA and they can get an FHA. Now you got two FHAs, you got two properties. You could live in one, rent the other one out. As the other one gets paid down, the amount of money that you are getting increases. You use that money to pay the house that y'all living in. You follow me? Take a step back. If you are listening to me and you haven't made a decision yet to move forward, or you made the decision to move forward and you got out of it and you okay, Don't do it together. Do it separate first, and then keep doing it that way, because you can get maybe 4 or 5 houses on your own as an individual, right? You get married, they combine everything. They combine your income, they combine your assets. You don't want to combine them just yet. And to be truthful, and I don't know how many people is talking about this, but when you get married, they don't know when you get married. A lot of them don't. They don't know that you just got married. So you still can go out and apply for a home or a mortgage on your own after you get married as a single person. So again, it's not affecting your wife or your husband's DTI, only yours. And then when you get straight, you get right, and everything is being taken care of, then you get the second property, and you can keep moving like that until you pay down that 20%. And you get to the next property, because remember, we talked about HELOCs. So now you're talking about using one person to get the home, pay it down enough to get a HELOC, take the HELOC on the first property, put it on your partner's property that they buy, right? So now you got one property, you got 2 properties. And then when you get to 3 and 4, you just rinse and repeat. And it's the same with the rental cars. You get the first car, get the first house, you use the house as the HELOC to buy the second car for the person that has the house, right? And you just keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and to the point where you have an empire, either in the rental business or real estate, or even any type of business that you have. Just remember, when you signing on a dotted line and we talking about significant others, it's always best to build one person up, get them going, get them stable, and then build a second person up, get them going, get them stable. And you don't really have to combine everything on paper ever. You don't really have to do that. It's something that you can do if the person that you're with makes it feel like they don't trust you, or you don't trust them because you don't want to co-sign with them. That's a different deal. But again, that's emotional. We talking about logistics right now, right? So again, sign if I can, significant others. Get the bread separately. Then you can use the benefits of your 2 separate lines together to do anything you want to do. And that's really the point of today's show. Again, I want to thank everybody for reaching out to me, and the people that need to reach out to me directly. Remember, you can hit me up on TikTok and IG. For IG is treetopchris_. If you want to hit me up, you can straight text me right now, wherever you are, 410-541-1064. I do free one-time advice. If you go to any of my social media outlets, we could talk for 30 to 45 minutes, no charge to you. I'm not going to try to sell you anything, any financial situation you in. I'll probably try to get you out as fast as I can. But again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. We handle wealth management, retirement planning, e-commerce, debt pay down strategies, anything you need help with, getting your credit together, anything you need help with, reach out to me. I want to help you out. And I want you to tell your friends I did it. So that ends our show for today. Your boy Treetop Chris checking in. Peace and love. You were just listening to Pocket Watchers, where we talk about nurturing wealth, cultivating the future through financial education. For more info, visit us at treetopfg.com or follow me on IG or TikTok at treetopchris_. Or you can just give us a call at 1-866-334-8359. Thank you for listening.